Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or good afternoon, or good evening, good day in general. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy New Year. Hope you guys are having a great start to 2018, and hopefully 2017 ended on a good note. But yeah, this cryptocurrency market is definitely having a great start. Enrique, welcome, buddy. It's great to see you on here. I know it's been a while since I've done a live stream. Things have been a little hectic for me, and I'm sure things are going to get a little more hectic as time goes on. But yeah, welcome. And it's a great year, great start to 2018. Crypto market, total market cap close to $650 billion, getting close to that 1 trillion. I think I've mentioned a long time ago. And, I think 2018 is going to be a great year, especially if you had a great 2017. Really, the sky's the limit. And, hopefully you guys are being rewarded. And I'm sure anybody that's really in crypto and that's been holding is definitely making some money. But yeah, let's see who's in the chat. Daniel, strong hands. Welcome, buddy. Hopefully you had those strong hands. PK, Nikolai, great to see a new name on here. Oni, what is up, buddy? Happy New Year to you as well. SkyTech, good morning from hopefully sunny California, nice and warm. It's definitely freezing where I'm at. It's 9 degrees without the wind chill. So yeah, we're freezing in the Northeast. Suzanne, welcome. Happy New Year to you as well. And, hopefully you guys, like I said, hopefully you guys had a great ending to 2017. And hopefully, 2018 will just bring nothing but greatness, especially, if you've been holding in this cryptocurrency market. And, I haven't been trading, to be honest with you. I've been holding. And, I've definitely seen, my USD value just increase on a day-to-day basis. So really, the hoarders, the hodlers, they're the ones that are really being rewarded heavily. Now, it's not to say that you're not going to make any money trading. You will make money, but really it's the holders that are really benefiting from this market. And these little dips that we're having, they're not that bad of a dip because they come right back up. But yeah, we're going to take a look at the overall market cap, see how things are doing, and, take a look at some cryptocurrencies you guys want me to take a look at. But, try to converse with you guys as much as I can today because it's been about 3 weeks since I had the chance to do a live stream. So it's been a while. Tony, welcome. Yes, I am back. Yeah, I missed you guys too. I definitely missed you guys too. Chris Chen, what is up, my C20 buddy? Crypto 20, it's doing wonders. I think last time I checked, it was like $3.25, something to that extent. So up, 200%. Let's see what you're saying. You and Rec Real killed it this weekend. Dude, that's awesome. I haven't talked to Rec Real in a while. I shot him a message over Christmas break. But yeah, New Year's was kind of busy for me. So, and had phone issues as well too. So I couldn't text anybody. OMG to the moon. I mean, a lot of things are to the moon. A lot of things are to the moon. And, this market wouldn't have grown to $650 billion if there weren't a lot of things that were just really moving up to the top 20. Things that, I didn't expect to be in the top 20. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. Total market cap, just a little shy of $650 billion. So, within 3 months for it to hit $1 trillion, it's definitely likely. It's very probable. And I can definitely see it getting there. But, one of the biggest winners, and I was never a fan of it, Ripple. And I'm still not a fan of Ripple, to be honest with you. I've only traded Ripple once, bought it at like 21 cents and sold it at 25 cents. Yeah, I wasn't a hodler then, but I think my mentality going into 2018 has to definitely change in the sense that I really have to start holding things that I believe in, things that have the potential to go up. And as long as you're holding some of the solid cryptocurrencies, that aren't crap coins, shit coins, that have the potential to go up, that have a solid backing from the community, the development team, and just really the overall outlook on that specific cryptocurrency. You really can't go wrong holding it. Yes, it's going to dip, but you got to be able to stomach those dips, to be honest with you. But yeah, Ripple, $2.41. That's just crazy. That is crazy. So anybody that's been holding Ripple since, 30 cents, 20 cents, 25 cents, whatever it might be, heavily being rewarded. Now, does it really belong in the number 2? My honest opinion, and that's not to offend anybody, definitely not. My honest opinion is it does not belong in the number 2 spot. The circulating supply is so huge. And as they really unload more tokens onto the market, the circulating supply is only going to get bigger. The market cap's only going to get bigger. So Ethereum really has a lot of catching up to do. But, everything is up. Ethereum $883. Bitcoin Cash, of course. We had that crazy debacle on Coinbase where it shot up to almost $9,000. Cardano, I never expected it to get up there. Litecoin is doing very well, still holding, above that $200 range. Still hasn't gotten back up to its all-time high of close to $400, but it's going to get there eventually. It'll eventually get there. IOTA, unfortunately, has been lacking, to be honest with you. I think a buddy of mine bought it at $4.50, thinking that was a good price, and it was at one point. But yeah, the news wasn't good that they put out. I think they fluffed that news a little bit, and that's really what caused that dip. Stellar's doing well. Let's see what else has really jumped up into the top 20. Raya Blocks, Ethereum is definitely not holding up too well. Icon, ICX, I mean, this thing was a sleeper. And, I was looking at this a while back, in the $1.50 range, and didn't really take advantage of it, but I should have. But for it to get up in the top 20, that's impressive. And I think it's going to hold that top 20. I think there's a good amount of support, good amount of backing from the community for Icon, ICX, and I think it'll definitely get up there. Verge, a lot of you guys were probably in Verge, in the 1 to 2 cent range, and hopefully took profits, in the 15, 16, 17. I mean, it got up to almost 23 cents, so that was huge. Omisa Go, somebody did talk about OMG just a couple seconds ago. I mean, $20 for it, that's impressive, but it's being outweighed by a lot of other cryptocurrencies that are really making a move to the upside, and that's why it's really dropped to the number 24 spot. But for it to be at $20. I mean, we were looking at this when it was in the $8, $9 range. So for $20, that's pretty impressive. I mean, everything is basically up. So you really can't go wrong in being in some of these solid cryptocurrencies because they definitely have the potential to be up. In 2018, if it's any indication of what 2017 did, it's only going to do great things. But let's go ahead and take a look at BTC, and then actually I'll answer some of the questions that you guys have, and then we'll take a look at BTC, ETH, and LTC. My crypto journey. What is up, buddy? Hope all is well up in Boston. I'm sure it's cold. I'm sure it's cold. ECS, Happy New Year, buddy. Happy New Year, man. Hopefully you had a good New Year, or a good start to the new year. Chris, your buddy put in $100 in Ripple at 15 cents, and he was still holding. Wow. Yeah, he's definitely being rewarded. And that's the thing, like I mentioned earlier, people are being rewarded if you're holding. Now, would I've held Ripple? Probably not, my personal opinion. But, if you could stomach the dips and you kind of just lock it away and not even look at it, you're definitely being rewarded. And yeah, to turn, $100 into 30K, that's impressive. That is impressive. Ripple's not a true. Yeah, I mean, Daniel, we all have our opinions on Ripple or XRP, really, but it's making people money, and as long as you take profits and be happy with it, especially going up from a penny, 20 cents, 30 cents. Last time we were really looking at it to, I mean, it's a huge increase to $2.30 and whatnot. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, you definitely have that idea, and like I said, my mentality for 2018 is definitely changing. I'm not going to be trading as much. I'm going to be looking to buy the dips and hold. To be honest with you, yes, I made money off trading, but when I really crunched the numbers and looked at what I could have made if I was holding, yeah, it could have been a lot more. Could have been a lot more. I could have been close to that $1 million mark. But yeah, trading, buying things and selling it. Yeah, I made profit, but the profits are nowhere close to what I could have definitely made if I would have just held on to things. XRP's fiat on steroids. Fiat on steroids run by the banks, basically. Yeah, anybody that's new, welcome. I didn't get a chance to welcome anybody that's new to this live stream. Definitely Happy New Year. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to sign up for our Slack chat and subscribe to this channel. And, if you do find some of this information helpful, make sure you pound that like button and, definitely sign up for the Slack chat. We will be sending out invitations And it's a great community where people are conversing about cryptocurrency. It's a small community, but you know what? Sometimes small community is good. Definitely get in before it gets too big. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at BTC, see where it's been. Of course, a little before Christmas, we had a nice dip to 10,000. Well, depending on what exchange you're looking at, 10,000. What did it get down to? $10,400. I mean, that was a huge drop, from $19,891. And that was really within a very short period of time. So, I mean, we're looking at from the 17th to about the 22nd. So within 5 days, I mean, it gave up huge amount. And, where there was a seller, there was a buyer. Where there was a buyer, there was a seller. So somebody definitely reaped the benefit of selling at, over 19,800. And hopefully, whoever bought it didn't panic and sell, especially after it dipped to, below 11,000. And that's just a huge dip for it. And if you actually, took advantage of this and saw it or had some lowball offers in the book, then yeah, you definitely are reaping the benefits to an extent. I mean, it's not getting back up to its all-time high, like we're seeing with some of the other cryptocurrencies, especially with Ether. We're going to take a look at Ether in a little bit, but I mean, Ether just broke all-time high just recently. I think it was this morning. So yeah, BTC hasn't gotten up there yet, but I think it might move sideways for an extended period of time before it really takes off. And when it starts to take off and get back up to that close to the 20,000 range, that's when I think we're going to see that market cap get close or exceed that $1 trillion mark, and it could easily do that within the next couple of months. If it doesn't do that within a week or so, because we've seen BTC drop 9,000, just about a little over 9,000 within 5 days. Can it get up another 9,000 within a week, 2 weeks? Definitely probable. It's highly likely, that it can get up there. But yeah, so we had that crazy dip, and at this current time, let's go ahead and take a look at maybe the 2-hour chart. We are moving sideways, so let me go ahead and clear out some of these things and take a look at maybe some suppression zones where it's been trapped for an extended period of time. Yeah, so a couple of areas of resistance, a couple of areas of support. Right now, currently, though, it is probably going to be suppressed, and it has been suppressed. So let's take a look at this. Is from December 30th, I would say, until now. So for the past 3 days, it's been suppressed within that range of 12,500 to about 14,260 bucks. So that's really the range that it's playing currently. Now, until it really breaks out of that channel, we're not going to know if we're going to have a clear confirmation of a breakout. And when it breaks out of that channel and really gets above that 14,300, it's got to stay above it and not break out above it and then break back down like we're seeing in this type of zone here. So for the past 3 days, it's just been consolidating. So I mean, if you're looking to take advantage of this, looking to put in an offer to buy, I would say 12,500, because that's really for the past 3 days the area of suppression, the channel that it's been playing. Now, can it break below that 12,500? Yeah, it definitely can. And anything's possible in this cryptocurrency world. But currently, if I was looking to buy this thing, and I'm not, because I'm really looking to buy Ether at the current moment, and we're going to take a look at that and let you know what areas I'm looking to buy it at. But yeah, 12,500 and one, or 12,500 and a penny, something to that extent. That's really the channel that I would be looking to buy it at. Anything above it, who knows? It could break out and then break back down. I don't want to buy it at a high price. I would rather wait for it to get down to the bottom of this channel before I can buy it. But 12,500, that's probably a safe bet. Waiting for 10,000, 400 or 11,000, I think it might be wishful thinking, especially for me, unless I have extra capital that I'm not going to be utilizing, to just kind of have it sitting there just so I can be first in to be first out. But really until she kind of breaks out of this channel, either breaks down below this channel or breaks out above this channel, only time will tell, what it's exactly going to do. But currently right now, it's on the upper end of that suppression zone between 12,500 and 14,250. Let's just say 14,300. I mean, and that's a huge range that we're looking at there. a range of almost a little under $2,000, $1,800, something to that extent. So that's a big range that it is playing. So let's go ahead and get a little granular on this and see if that range is getting tighter and tighter. So if we look at this a little closer, get a little more granular, the range does get a little tighter from almost 13,000 to 14,000. So it's a range of almost $1,000. So really, if I'm going to be looking at this going forward, I'm going to be looking at the small range, the smaller suppression zone, to see if it's going to break down below that 13,000 or it's going to break out above 14,000. And as time goes on, it'll continue to consolidate, and then I'll be able to plot out a little more and see exactly, if that suppression zone is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. But yeah, at the current time, though, it's very hard to tell, what BTC is going to do. We're not seeing an upward trend. We're not seeing a breakdown. We're seeing more of a consolidation. And it could consolidate in the bigger upper range or the smaller range. And then, like I said, until she kind of proves to us that, she's going to break out above the smaller range and maintain that range for an extended period of time. I can't say if this is going to be bullish or bearish. And these are short-term price action, to be honest with you. They're not long-term bearish or long-term bullish, because we know with cryptocurrency, there really is no such thing as a long-term, bear price action. It's if it dips, it's a very short dip, and it comes right back up. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at ETH. Let me take a look at what you guys are saying. Omnibot, welcome. Verge. I don't know if I would buy Verge. I mean, it's run up huge. It's run up almost 20x. That's a big run up, and yeah, I would wait, to see if it's going to get down to 10 cents or so. I haven't really looked at it too much, to be honest with you, but yeah, I wouldn't be buying it at that high price. It's run up too high, too fast. ARD, welcome. POE, I don't know what POE is, but let me put that on the list, and we can take a look at it after ETH. Nathan, welcome. Man, you got a lot of coins. HTML, TRX, Lend, POE, Fun, CND, Dragon. I do like Dragon. Dragon Chain, I definitely like. I don't know about the other ones. I'd have to really take a look at them. Oni, you don't like the snowflakes? I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, I'd have to play around with it later on to turn it off if it bothers you guys. Daniel, you got to order in at 11.4 or you got an execution at 11.4. Chris, the Slack chat there, let's see. It should be on. If you go to the website, CryptoTradersRoom.com, there's a hyperlink at the bottom of this video. Click on that link. There's a brief questionnaire that you got to answer. Once you answer those questionnaires, we'll get the questionnaire submitted to us. We'll go ahead and vet it, and then we'll send out the invitations. Just answer it truthfully. That's all that we ask. Nathan, I have not voted at all. But yeah, I would probably vote for Dragon Chain, definitely. And I need to start really utilizing Binance. But I haven't been. I mean, I have an account, but have not been utilizing it at all. Can I get the new people into Ponzi coin? Definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah, Chris, you should see it under there. Yeah, under where it says stay connected, it says website, CryptoTradersRoom.com, or just go to CryptoTradersRoom.com, and hopefully it should be up there. Let me check it real quick. What do I think of I like Binance. I really do. The only thing I don't like about it is you got to trade. Maybe there is a problem with the website. But Chris, yeah, we'll get that fixed, and we'll figure out a way to get you onto the Slack chat. But at the current moment, I don't think it's loading. Actually, it is loading. So yeah, you just got to be patient with it. Go to CryptoTradersRoom.com, and then it'll say join Crypto Traders Room. But yeah, the only thing I don't like about Binance is that you can only trade, unless you own some BNB, you can only trade fraction of a coin. You know, their commission is pretty standard. You know, with any other exchange, it's not like you know, Coinbase, where you're gonna, you know, be able to trade for free when you're setting a limit buy and limit sell order. KuCoin, I have no clue, to be honest with you. I don't trust a lot of exchanges that are out there, and I don't know if I trust KuCoin. I definitely don't trust HitBTC. Oni, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'll play around with it. But yeah, when I logged on the other day, I thought it was pretty cool. My kids liked it because yeah, it wasn't snowing here yet, so they got to see a little bit of snowflake. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at ETH real quick. That's what I'm at 4-hour chart. Let's click onto the 2-hour chart here. And it's definitely had a range for an extended period of time, especially after that dip that we had. You know, where, I mean, for it to dip to $460, you know, I mean, I wish I had an order in for 500. I wish I did. I wasn't watching it at that time, and you know, that's the thing about cryptocurrency. If you're not watching it, or you don't have a low ball offer in the book, it's hard to catch these. It's very hard to catch them because really within, you know, 5 hours or so, you know, got right back up to close to that $700 range, you know, from 460. So when these dips happen, I mean, you know, they're going to happen very quick. It's not going to be a long extended type of drop. You know, they're going to drop real quick and they'll come back up. People will buy it out, you know, especially the ones that have a low ball offer in the book, or the ones that are watching this like a hawk. And, you know, unless you're watching this like a hawk, you know, there's no way to actually be able to get in this because as of the 22nd, you know, by the 23rd, it was right back up to $740, you know, almost $760. So a gain of $300. But yeah, you know, having those low ball offers in the book, especially if you have capital laying around, it's probably one of the best things to do. You know, ever since we had that drop, really, I mean, you know, from $675 to about $760, you know, it stayed within that range. And as we can see, it channeled, yeah, broke down a little bit below it, came right back up, retested to break out above the 770, couldn't do it, broke back down to broke back down to 680, and then just kind of consolidated in the middle of that range until we really had and I've talked about this in the past, you know, having a clear confirmation, you know, above a certain range, and that resistance was really the 770. And, you know, with this candlestick on a 2-hour price action movement, I mean, that was a clear confirmation of a breakout. So this thing is going to start hitting all-time highs. You know, it's only $8 away from hitting its all-time high, where currently previous all-time high was $875. So this morning, it looks like at earlier this morning, actually. It broke out above that 875, 878. And right now, I mean, this is a bull flag right here. It's ready to take off. And as long as it has enough momentum and there isn't a large sell order, because I'm not really looking at the order book, as long as there isn't a large sell order to kind of suppress it and bring it down, this thing will keep going up. So it's only a matter of time before, this thing really gets to that $900 range. And, hopefully we don't see a big breakdown. And if it does break down, if you're looking to buy this and you're going to be patient with it, I mean, I would wait to see if it's going to retest, prior resistance, become a current support, especially when you have a clear confirmation of a breakout above that resistance. And that resistance was a 770. So if you're going to put in an offer to buy, 770 would be the area. And that's the area that I'm looking at. That's the area that I have I'm not looking to purchase much, only 0.2. But that's the area that I'm going to be patient for and wait for. To buy, if I was looking at this, to be honest with you, if I was looking at this, clear confirmation of a breakout, I would have probably bought it at 775 because it broke out above that channel. It broke out above that range. And on a smaller time frame, because I would probably be looking at a smaller time frame, not a 2-hour time frame, I would see that it's holding above that 775 or 770. So 775, I would have bought it if I was looking at this thing. So considering I wasn't looking at it and I'm looking to take an entry, I'm going to wait to see if it's going to retest the prior resistance. That it's basically going to probably, more than likely, it's not 100%, but the probabilities are higher that it's going to retest that 775 or possibly retest 800 again before heading back up. And that's if there is resistance at that $878 level, which it's not that far away from hitting that all-time high of 878.50. $4 away basically from that all-time high. So, that's the range that I'm waiting for. Yes, I could buy it here, but it could break back down, and I could end up buying it a little cheaper. So, it's not that much of a difference. But you guys know me, and I like to be patient with my trades. I like to be patient when I'm buying. If it heads up and keeps going up and up and up, I'm just going to wait for a correction. So let's just say hypothetically this thing does have a clear confirmation of a breakout above that all-time high of 878.50. Eventually, buyers are going to run out of things to buy. Sellers are going to start basically coming in to the book and start unloading at a nice profit. So prior resistance, which this is currently a resistance at 878.50, if it has a clear confirmation of a breakout above it, that's the area that I would wait for again. If it does have a clear confirmation of a breakout, but it has to break out like it broke out above that $770 range or 700. What is this at? Yeah, 770. That's a clear confirmation of a breakout. It hasn't retested the 770 yet. And if we get a clear confirmation of a breakout above that 878.50 and it hits 900, 920, it's going to come back down. And more than likely, it's going to retest that 878 again. And just to get a little bit of an entry, nothing to go all in because it could come back and retest it. And it could break down below it and come back down and retest a new support line, which that new support line is going to be right where it kind of broke down to. So we're looking at somewhere in the range of $825, $823. So currently that is the resistance, the support for it. If it does decide to come back down, that's a first area of support. Second area of support is going to be the 800 or $770. So we'll see exactly, if this thing has a clear confirmation of a breakout above that prior resistance of 878.50. And if it does break down, it's going to find a little bit of support. Now, it's only a soft support. I wouldn't say it's a hard support because really it's only retested that level twice, I would say, on a 5-minute price action movement. It hasn't retested it numerous times. Whereas if we really look at the overall chart, that 770, I would say, is going to have more of a stronger support. And that's just because of the way that it broke out above that channel. When it has a clear confirmation and it breaks out of a specific channel with a vengeance, that tells me that, there's going to be a strong support at that level instead of having a strong support at that $823 level. So, I can see this thing breaking out even before the live stream ends, break out above that 878.50, and then possibly come back down and retest that 823, 824-ish, something to that extent. Daniel, Doge. Actually, my son doesn't have Doge anymore. He's got BTC. And he bought BTC actually when I think it was like 13,000. Converted Doge to BTC, and it ran up nicely. And he's still holding it. He is still holding it. But yeah, I should have probably sold it at 19,800. Yeah, so somebody's talking about Binance. Binance does not have an app in the App Store, but if you go to Binance's website on your phone, there is an app that you can download through their website. But yeah, if you search through the App Store, you're not going to find an app for it. Yep, there you go. There you go, Omnibot. Sorry, I didn't see that message. But yeah, you got to do it through their website, which I thought was a little weird. All right, so let's see exactly, if this thing is going to break out, but we need to get to a 5-minute chart. Yeah, if this isn't a flag, I don't know what is. This is just a perfect setup for this thing to really hit 900 bucks. So really, these are the type of setups you want to look for. I mean, there's all different types of setups, and they're hard to catch every single setup. But if you can find a setup, on really any cryptocurrency, and as long as the selling doesn't intensify, or as long as it's just not being artificially inflated, where it's just basically a pump and dump, especially on the major cryptocurrencies, more than likely they're not going to be pump and dumps. But yeah, this is a perfect example of something that's basically flagging to really take off and hit all-time highs. So you got basically the pole here, and then you got the flag pattern. So as long as it breaks out above that 870, 850, that's going to give you a clear confirmation of a breakout. Nathan, welcome, buddy. Yeah, thanks for that comment, man. I appreciate it. Jim, I have not used Waves as a trading platform. Really the only things that I have heavily traded on was in the past, Bitfinex, of course, before they kicked us out, and Coinbase. That's about it. That is about it. So I need to start transferring stuff to Binance and start heavily using that. I am going to start using Robinhood once they actually get their platform up and running. Right now, there's definitely issues going on with it, but I did go ahead and I took part in their ICO at 5 cents, and I had a 10x return, but I didn't want to sell on Ether Delta. I did not want to sell it on Ether Delta at all, and I'm glad I didn't because they ended up getting hacked. But yeah, I mean, basically, what was it, $500 investment turned into 5,000, and I didn't sell it, and it came crashing back down. So I'm still holding it. I still believe that it can get back up to that 50 cents to $1 range, especially once they get a lot of other tokens on their platform. Once they really start underwriting a lot of the ICOs, I think it'll definitely get up to that 50 cents to $1 range. I think it's hovering right around 20 cents right now. But yeah, I went ahead and transferred the COP tokens that I had onto their platform. But yeah, I'm going to start heavily using them. But yeah, they definitely need to start getting a lot more coins on their exchange than currently what they have. Yeah, dude, he's got coins, man. He's got coins. And I did buy. So, let's take a look at something real quick while this thing is going. Let me get to the comments, and then I'll tell you one of the biggest investments that I made, and it's probably my biggest holding. And I'll talk about that. They're currently in their ICO, but I firmly believe that it's going to do great things in the future. It's going to be a long-term hold. I don't plan on selling any of it. I plan on holding it for 10 years or so. SE, welcome, buddy. Happy New Year. You guys don't like the snowflake? Yeah, I'm gonna remove it. I'll definitely remove it after this live stream. Yes, and ECS, thank you for mentioning that. There's going to be some good things happening with CTR, Crypto Traders Room. There's going to be a lot of changes that are going to be happening. We'll definitely be creating a new channel, a new YouTube channel that's definitely going to have some great contents on it. So this channel will still be active, but it won't be as active as the new channel will be. But yeah, stay tuned for that. There's going to be a lot of great things that are going to be happening within CTR, Crypto Traders Room, and I'm excited to see exactly where it's going to go. All right, 873.50. All right, so I'll briefly talk about my biggest holding, and this is something I've been interested in. I've always been interested in mining, but don't really have the technical background to be mining. Maybe my buddy Scott M could get me set up, build me a system. We've been kind of talking about that. So later on in the future. But Envion is probably my biggest holding, and I got into this ICO at 95 cents. I'm sorry, 70 cents. 70 cents. So my son also has some Envion tokens that he's going to be holding for an extended period of time, and basically it's a mining operation. So they're going to be mining, the most profitable coins, and the way that they're going to be mining them is, they're going to be in basically shipping containers, all suited up with the latest and the greatest mining equipment. And they're able to take these and move them out to anywhere where they sign a licensing agreement or an agreement to basically get cheap power, whether it's a hydro dam, solar system, or a wind generator, where they could actually sign a contract to get basically excess of all of their excess free energy, not free energy, but they're going to be paying for it, but the abundance of energy that they're going to be generating that they won't be using. The nice thing about this, and reason why I got into it, is not because of the token, and I firmly believe that the value of the token is going to go up, just like any other cryptocurrency value goes up. But they do pay out a nice return. So the ROI on this, it's pretty big. Right now, it's showing 161% per year ROI return. But it's actually factored in somewhere in the range of 180% ROI per year return. So 75%. Of the return, you do end up getting on a weekly basis. So let's just say hypothetically, you put in $10,000. I really didn't have any plans to cover this, so this is just kind of, me talking about it just briefly. But yeah, so if you put in $10,000 in this, your first year ROI is somewhere in the range of 16,000, second year 22,000, third year 31,000. Fourth year, 44,000, and so on and so on. So within 5 years, you're looking at possibly, as long as the difficulty rate is not crazy, as long as they're able to solidify some cheap energy. 177,000 is what the projected ROI is within a 5-year period of time, and that's just the dividends you're basically getting. So they do pay out dividends on a weekly basis, and they pay out those dividends currently in ETH. And so I did take part in this ICO because I was really intrigued by it, ever since I read up about it. And I read this numerous times. And, I really had to think, is it better for me to spend the money that I have and get some mining equipment? Because I really wanted to mine, from 5 months ago, 6 months ago. But like I said, I just don't have the technical background to be able to get everything set up and be able to monitor everything and have it work. And, when this came out, I was like, man, this is the perfect opportunity for, to be able to take part in an ICO that just specifically mines the most profitable coins. So, like I said, this is probably my biggest holding that I currently have now. And And, I do plan on holding this for a very extended period of time. Now, we'll see exactly, if this ROI that they're talking about, this, 161% or 180% that it's currently at now. I think when they factor this ROI, BTC was only at 8,000 and ETH was only sitting at like $350. Now, with the value going up, the ROI definitely goes up as well, too. So as long as this, 180%, 160% ROI return is accurate and they can definitely pay out, without any issues, then, I think the value of the token is going to go up because people are going to want to hold the token because the ROI is real and they are actually paying those out. So, we'll see what happens. But, I might be covering this as time goes on to see exactly, how is the ROI in comparison to, what they're really stating the ROI is going to be. But yeah, so my son does have a little bit of this, and I went ahead and purchased a good amount. But yeah, let me see what you guys are saying. I don't know if any of you guys got involved in it. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad opportunity at all, especially with the way cryptocurrency market is going, and to be able to get a return on a weekly basis. And I think they're going to probably start that back at, somewhere in January, where they're going to start really heavily mining. All right, still sitting at that 870. Still sitting at that 870. So really what I'm looking for this thing to do is to give us a clear confirmation of a breakout, not just teeter-totter in that 878 range, but to break out of that with a vengeance and to see a really, long candlestick and get it up to that $900. If it can get up to $900 within one candlestick, that's a confirmation of a breakout. And then from there, really, it all depends on the order book, who has a hidden order in the book to either unload or, are people going to be buying this? More than likely, people are going to be selling this thing, especially if they bought it this morning, before it really broke out at 770, more than likely they might be taking profit at $900. But yeah, BTC dominance has definitely dropped. So, I mean, a lot of these alts are definitely carrying the weight, from BTC having a nice dip, showing 14,000 here. But yeah, 35%. I mean, I don't think I've seen it at 35% recently. It's always been somewhere in that range of 45% to 50%. When it was going up to almost 20,000, it was sitting at like 65%. So that tells you, I mean, even though BTC is still doing well, yes, it's dropped from its all-time high, but for it to still be in the $14,000 range, it's not bad at all. But that tells you that really alts are carrying the weight. I mean, they really are. Things that were probably in the bottom 100, in the overall market cap. I mean, we're seeing a lot of new coins, get up above the top 30. I mean, Populous, I mean, that was way low before. Ardor, Verge, I mean, Verge is just basically, going from 1 cent to 20 cents, giving, a 20x return basically. Let's see what else has definitely moved up. Lisk, Icon. I mean, Tron was nowhere close to even being in the top 30. Yeah, the circulating supply is huge. It is huge. But, this thing was at a penny, something to that extent. So for it to move up to the 13th spot, I mean, that's huge for it. I mean, NIM, Stellar, and Cardano was probably, the biggest winner. Watching Cardano at 3 cents, it was in the top 20, but it wasn't in the top 10 at all, or even the top 5. I think last time I was really looking at it. But yeah, for it to really, make a comeback, and sit at the 5 spot and overtake Litecoin, overtake IOTA, overtake Dash, Monero and Zcash, when all of these were pretty high up, overtake Neo. And Neo's, last time we were looking at Neo, it was like $30, $33, sitting at $93 at the current moment. Jim, welcome, by the way. Yeah, and that's why I liked it. You're going to get basically a dividend, a weekly dividend. And that's a nice thing. They're paying out on a weekly basis, as long as you're holding their token, and holding it on a private, where you're controlling the private key. And it's just not dividend, from nothing. It's dividend from mining, and that's one thing I like about it. So, like I said, I've always wanted to get into mining, couldn't really do it. And I think Envion really gives the opportunity for anybody that wants to get involved in the mining operation, to allow them to do all the work. You just got to hold the token, and that's it. Where can you buy Envion? So let's take a look at it real quick. You do have to get whitelisted. Unfortunately, you have to get whitelisted. So let's see, they raised about 40 million right now. They've definitely raised a lot more than that. But what they're doing is they're basically converting, the ETH and the BTC that they're getting. Now, I don't know if they're converting all of it at once, but they're converting some of it, because they really got to start building these containers. They only have, I think, 2 containers right now that are already built and functioning. But they want to build a lot more containers, and it's going to cost them about $100,000 to $150,000 to get these containers built, and then be able to ship them out wherever there is going to be cheap, energy, basically, that they're going to get. But yeah, basically what you have to do is, click on it, invest in ICO. So let's see, 11 days left in this. So unfortunately, you do have to be either accredited or, non-US citizen in order to take part in this, unfortunately. So if you're an accredited investor, you can definitely take part. Or if you have dual citizenship, you can definitely take part. But yeah, really, you can use Ether, you can use Bitcoin, or you can use a credit card. I think when you use a credit card, they do charge you a fee, a 3% fee. But yeah, for non-US citizens that are looking to get involved in this, now even at $1, that's still not a bad deal, to be honest with you. $1 is still pretty good to be able to buy this thing. But this is a long-term hold. It's not something that you're going to be. I wouldn't trade this thing, to be honest with you. This is something to kind of hold just so you can get those dividends on a monthly basis in ETH, and then be able to utilize, those dividends to be able to trade for other tokens, or to buy more of the Envion tokens. But yeah, basically, the only way to do it is through their website, get whitelisted, and their whitelist is still open, and then that's really the only way to be able to get involved in it. But yeah, they're looking to raise 150 million, which is a lot. That's a lot that they're looking to raise. I don't know if they'll get there within the next 11 days. They've raised 40 million already. If they can get up to 60 million, I would be happy for them. But $150 million, yeah, I think that's a little far-fetched. But they definitely raised enough to be able to scale their operation. And that's the nice thing. Once they hit the soft cap, they knew exactly that they had enough money raised to be able to scale the operation. Now, the more money that they raise, the better it's going to be for them, because then they're able to basically have more containers. But they basically they basically generated enough money right now, from what they said, to be able to pay out that 161% in ROI return. So really, anything above this anything above that 40 million is really going to be icing on the cake for them to really just scale out the operation, be able to build out more containers. And I think, yeah, they could definitely do it. They can definitely do it. But yeah, I wouldn't be looking to flip this thing, to be honest with you. So if you get in this, I would be looking to hold it and just take advantage of the dividends. But yeah, I don't really get involved in too many ICOs. I've researched a good amount of them, and And honestly, that was probably the best one that I've seen. And I'm sure there are a lot of other good ones. You know, and if you guys do know of some good ones, let me know. But that's probably, all right, I think my chart is freezing up on me. But that was really the best one that I could have even thought of or even, you know, gotten involved in. All right, still no breakout above that 878. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at LTC. And then by then, the live stream will have to end, unfortunately. Nathan, yeah, you know what? I do have that wallet. I've downloaded it on my iPhone. I haven't used it. I don't know if I plan on using it, but I thought I would download it just to have it, just in case I do need it. But I have not heard of the airdrop yet. What do you have to do to get the airdrop? Or do you just have to download the wallet and that's it? As long as my computer cooperates with me, try to take a look at the overall picture of LTC. Man, I thought I would never see the day LTC getting up above 400 bucks. I thought, I mean, you know, I was conservative with it and said, you know what, end of the year, 100 bucks. But yeah, this thing, I mean, you know, hitting 400 bucks, it's just, it's definitely impressive. Nathan, yeah, I'll have to research that a little bit. I won't have time after this live stream, but maybe later on tonight, I'll definitely have to research that and take a look at it and see exactly what you have to do. If it's just a matter of just having the wallet and that's it, or if you actually have to own or have FLend on the platform. All right, let's go ahead and clear everything out on this just so we can draw out some new support lines. But yeah, prior high that it had set 200 bucks, you know, it got rejected from that 200 bucks. And I remember looking at that 200 bucks, you know, when it was really running up, it came down to 136 bucks. $136 was basically what it came down to. And then, you know, really before just taking off and running to 420 bucks. So really, I mean, if you're looking at a chart like this and you see it running up and running up and running up, I mean, I wouldn't have bought it as it was running up. I would have probably been patient with it. But yeah, having to see, and a lot of times, you know, they will break down, and where they break down to, they'll break down close to, if not where the major support was for it. And that major support for it was really 136. And, you know, when we had BTC fall into 10,400, F fall into 460 bucks, especially on GDAX, you know, it could have been a little different depending on what exchange you were looking at. But, you know, the retracement was close to that 136 bucks. The retracement was actually 146 bucks. You know, so if you were looking at this thing and, you know, it broke down below, you know, 200 bucks, that would have been a perfect opportunity to buy it because, I mean, there was a strong, I wouldn't say strong support for it or resistance, considering it had a clear confirmation of a breakout, but really didn't retest that $200 again. It really didn't retest it. You know, I would have liked to see this thing retest 200 bucks, get back up to 3, retest 200 bucks again, get back up to 3, because then I know, okay, you know what? Prior resistance of 200 bucks had a clear confirmation of a breakout above 200 bucks to get to 420, and it's retested that $200 numerous times. and retested it and retested it. And as long as it keeps retesting it, then I know, you know what, that's going to be a solid support for it. That's where I'm going to be looking to buy. But in actuality, you know, looking at the 4-hour candlestick chart, it's only retested close to that 200 once. It got to 202 only one time, and then had just a breakdown, and that was with everything else kind of breaking down with it as well too. But yeah, safe bet, $200 to buy it wouldn't have been bad, because it's hard to catch the bottom. You know, because really, if I was even looking at this thing and I thought about putting in a low ball offer, that low ball offer would have been at, you know, 135, 136 ish. You know, at the bottom range of where this thing, you know, kind of went up to $200, came back down. I would have said, you know what, that's going to be the strong support for it. But it really didn't test it. It got to 144 instead of 135 or 136. I probably wouldn't have had an entry. So I would have probably been looking at this $200 and saying, you know what, $200 would probably be a safe bet if it does retrace back down to those levels. And it did. You know, a lot of times they don't retrace to those levels. But, you know, on this current price action, it definitely retested it, broke through it with a vengeance, but came right back up. So let's see if it retested $200 again. So here we go, $200. So $200 on this is a safe bet, even though we had. Let me actually look at the 2-hour chart, because the closing price on this candlestick, where it broke down at 144, was $243. So the closing price, as well as the opening price was 205, the low was 144, the closing price was 243. So really, even going forward, the $200 price range or 205 price range is going to be a solid support for it, considering it's tested it once. It opened at 205 here, even though it broke through it. I don't think, you know, it's going to break through it again, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, you can put in a low ball offer for 145, 146, you know, kind of stagger your buy-in orders. But $200, I mean, that's going to be your safe bet if you're looking to be patient with this trade and not look to, you know, buy it at 250 and have it break down to close to 210, 205 again, and maybe panicking and selling, or maybe adding on to that position. You know, to be honest with you, if you're in these solid cryptocurrencies and they have a dip, I wouldn't panic at all. You know, it's just a great opportunity to average down, lower your cost average, and buy it back a little cheaper if you didn't already sell and take a nice profit. So $200 is what I would be waiting for. I am looking to buy a little bit of ETH, but yeah, with the rest of the money that I have left over, you know, $200.01 or $201 is where I'm going to be putting in my buy order. Now, in order for it to really get back up, you know, to above that $300 range, it's going to have some resistance. So it's got to break out above this area of suppression, where it was basically suppressed for an extended period of time. And let's see what that range is. And that range is from 262 to 286. You know, that's a range that it was really heavily suppressed for about 3 days. Let's see. Yeah, approximately 3 days, maybe a little less than 3 days. But as long as it can break out above at 263 and stay above it, you know, it's going to have a new area of suppression, a new area of consolidation, unless she gives you a clear confirmation that she is breaking out above that 286. Now, if it breaks out above 286, it's broken out of that range. It's broken out of that suppression zone, you know, where it's been held down for an extended period of time. And really, there isn't going to be much of a resistance until we really get up to, let me look at this a little better. Until about $322 to $330. You know, that's going to be the next range that it's going to have to break out above. But, you know, with the way cryptos are going today, it's easily doable. And the way this thing is looking, I mean, it's gotten to that 206, close to that $200 range where I'm looking to buy it. And it's currently sitting, you know, on the, basically this is the first stage, you know, the current stage that it's in, between $206 or $200 to $263. That's the area of suppression at its current state until it breaks out above that 262 and maintains a healthy level of, you know, in the range of 262 to 285. But if she breaks out above it, then, we're going to have a new channel, a new range. But, this thing is gearing up again. It's gearing up to break out above it, even though, it's on the upper range of that suppression zone. But it looks like it is curling up to kind of break out above it. Now, unless we have a clear confirmation of a breakout above that 263, it could come back down and retest, that suppression zone, or the zone that is currently playing in of $200 to $263. So we got to get a clear confirmation of a breakout above that 263. And I mean, if it's a crazy breakout, then it'll easily break out above the 286. And 286 is going to have a little bit of a hard time, more of a resistance than the current level of resistance of 263. So if it completely breaks out above 286 and maintains it, 380 is in sight. And if 380 hits, it'll start hitting all-time highs. The only thing I don't like about that all-time high candlestick is, let me see where the opening price and the closing price is. So it opened at 371.91 and it closed at 372.50. So not a full doji at the top of the peak. So a full doji would be the opening price being the same as the closing price. Not that much of a difference though. 371.91 opening price, 372.50 closing price, only 59 cents. But it's not a full doji on the upper trend, on the upper end. When you see a full doji where the opening price and the closing price are exactly the same, or a long-legged doji, then you know that that price point is not going to be sustained. But it's close to being a doji, but not a full doji. And we did have a breakdown from it, where it broke down to 250, 260-ish. So that's one thing I would definitely be paying attention to. If it does have a crazy breakout like it did to $420, on a 2-hour or a 1-hour candlestick, how is that formation of that candlestick? Do we have a closing price and an opening price being the exact same? And if it is, be ready for a downtrend, because it will downtrend. Anytime you see a doji at the top end of a bull run, you're going to have a breakdown. If you see it on the bottom end of a breakdown, then that means that it's going to have a nice run up to the upside. All right, about 4 minutes left on this. Let's see what F is doing real quick to see if it broke out above that channel. But they could all be hovering just within that channel. But the nice thing is that they are on the upper end of that channel. So once it breaks out above this channel here, which is a pretty large channel from $206 to $263, the next channel really is not that big. 263 to 288 or to 287. It's not that big of a channel, so it could easily break out above that channel with 1 or 2 candlesticks on the 1 hour, or even the half hour, the 30-minute price action movement. All right, it's still not looking too bad. It still hasn't, broken down below this trend line. And once it breaks down below the trend line, then we know, well, at least I know, the probabilities of it retesting, this 822 are very likely. And if it breaks heavily below that 822, then 775, I'm sorry, 770 is definitely in sight. So like I said, that's an area that I'm looking to buy at 770, just to be a little bit patient. And it all depends, how is it going to react to this trend line? Is it going to break through that trend line, or is it going to maintain it and stay above it? Right now, the candlestick doesn't look too good at all. Let's see, the opening price on this was 873. Currently, the price is 866. So it's not looking too good, but it's not looking too bad either, considering, we don't have a larger red candlestick that has engulfed, several hours worth of price action movement. Now, if this thing does break below it, more than likely it'll get to 845-ish or the 833. And then depending on, the battle between the bears and the bulls, we'll see, what direction it's going to take. But that will be on the lower end of this current channel that it's in, because the current channel that it's really in is the 822 to the all-time high of 878. All right, let me see what you guys are saying, and then I do have to end the live stream. Yeah, ECS too. Yeah, once the new channel is set up, we'll be sending out links to that, especially on the description of this video or any videos that are going to be uploaded on this channel. Oni, take care, buddy. Hope all's well, and yeah, hopefully the wisdom tooth extraction doesn't go too bad. But yeah, those aren't fun at all. Happy trading and stay metal. Yes, indeed, man. You do the same. You do the same as well. All right, not much of a push on ETH. Not much of a push that we're seeing. So it's definitely being held down, and not breaking out above that all-time high. Yeah, so 200 bucks is still going to be in play for me. And I think I might be just a little conservative with it, considering, the really low that it had set, not the all-time low or the low that of 144 was really 206 bucks. So, I might just play it safe and put, 207 bucks if it gets to that lower end of that channel. But I think, 200 bucks is kind of wishful thinking, unless there's, a big sell-off that does happen for it to get to that level, maybe break through that level. But I think it might be kind of wishful thinking for me to say, 200 bucks is what I'm going to wait for, because I might be waiting for a very extended period of time, especially if I want to get an entry in this. And I definitely do. So I might have to actually bump that up to 207 bucks. 207.50 is where I'm going to have to bump it up to. Now, if I do take a position in this, even though I am going to be a long-term holder, I will be looking to sell this thing and buy back on the dip. And 287 is what I'm going to be looking to sell. So if I get an entry at 207.50, 287, I'm going to be looking to sell it. I'm not going to be looking to hold it. And I'll be looking to sell probably half of what I bought, just in case it does break out above it. But more than likely, considering for an extended period of time, that's really the area that it was held down from. I can't sit there and hope and wish that it breaks out above it. Now, I'll still have half of my position to hope and wish that it breaks out above it, but I can't hold everything and hope and wish that it breaks out above it, because it could get to that level of 287, 286, and then break back down and retest the 250 level. Yes, it's a difference of 30 bucks, but I would rather utilize that $30 per coin to buy back in more and have a little bit more LTC tokens than to have it, break down and not sell anything at all. But if it does break out above it and, gets up to that $3, the $320 level, I'll at least have half of my position left over where I could lock in a little bit more of a profit, or even hold it longer, in hopes that it gets up to that all-time high of above 400 bucks. Suzanne, have a great day. Enjoy your sunny Cyprus. I wish it was sunny here. But yeah, with that being said, I want to definitely thank everybody for joining. I know, like I said, it's been a long time since I've been able to do a live stream. And, there's going to be a lot of changes that are going to be happening within CryptoTraders Room. There's going to be a new channel that's going to be created. And I'm very excited for that new channel to see exactly, how it's going to progress in this new cryptocurrency world that we're in, because really it is a new cryptocurrency world. It's a baby. It's not that old at all. So like I said before, if 2017 is any indication of what the future is going to look like, the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit, and anybody that's involved in cryptocurrency now will definitely reap the benefits going forward, as long as you play it safe and as long as you're not getting involved in these pump and dumps. Buying something that runs up from a penny to 20 cents, and then it dips back down on you to 10 cents. Stick with the solid coins, the ones that have the fundamental to do well, And, I'm very excited for 2018, where I am going to be holding a good amount of position, and really just watching, my portfolio kind of grow in USD value, or, taking profits and stacking up more of the coins there. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for joining. Wednesday, I will not be able to do a live stream. My son actually has a doctor's appointment with a specialist, so I'll be traveling about an hour and a half from where I live for his doctor's appointment. But yeah, Thursday, we'll be doing a live stream again, and probably going forward, instead of doing a live stream 3 times a week, it'll probably end up being twice a week, maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'll do a live stream, but only time will tell exactly as time permits. But like I said, with that being said, thank you so much for joining. Enjoy your day. Nothing but the utmost respect. Be safe out there, and Happy New Year. And we'll talk soon.